The muezzin's call drifts over Mombasa's old town as Zuri Mwanyema stares at the padlock on her market stall. The corrugated iron gleams with fresh rust. In her trembling hands, she clutches a crumpled receipt for 500,000 shillings. Money that sailed away like smoke on the Indian Ocean breeze. Her knuckles are white. Her kanga headscarf, once bright as sunrise, hangs dull and loose. Some losses, she is learning, you cannot undo no matter how hard your hands shake or how loud your prayers grow. 6 months earlier, Biashara Street breathes with life. Zuri's stall bursts with color. Indigo kangas spill from wooden shelves like waterfalls. Gold threads catch the morning light. Customers call her the kanga queen of Old Town, and she wears the title with a smile sharp enough to cut glass. She haggles in fluent Swahili, wraps parcels with banana fiber string, and remembers every customer's mother's name. Her hands move fast, counting notes, folding fabric, blessing babies. This is her kingdom. She built it stitch by stitch after her parents died. She believes hard work is armor against anything. Halima appears at noon, her perfume cutting through the smell of cardamom and diesel. They were best friends once, before rivalry crept between them like a silent tide. Halima leans close, her gold bangles chiming. Her cousin in Dubai, she whispers, wants exclusive coastal designs. Triple the profit, minimal risk, a single large order to change everything. Zuri's heart drums against her ribs. She has been saving for a shop of her own, away from the open-air market. This could be the bridge. This could be the leap. Halima's smile is sugar and salt mixed together. That evening, Babu Juma calls from Lamu. His voice crackles through the old Nokia speaker like dry palm leaves in wind. He is a retired dhow captain with hands that have pulled ropes through 50 monsoons. He asks about her day. She mentions the deal in passing, casual as a feather. The line goes quiet. Then he speaks slow, each word a stone dropped in still water. The tide that looks calm, my child, sometimes hides the sharpest coral. Zuri laughs it off. She is modern. She is Mombasa. She does not need village superstition. They meet at Tamarind Restaurant, where the waves slap the seawall and waiters move like shadows. The cousin wears a tailored Italian suit and speaks English with an accent Zuri cannot place. He spreads a contract across the white tablecloth. His promises roll smooth as camel milk. Exclusive distribution rights. Wire transfer within 48 hours. A handshake that will make her the biggest kanga exporter on the coast. Zuri signs. She hands over her savings, every shilling earned through 5 years of dawn-to-dusk labor, and watches him slide the check into a leather briefcase that snaps shut like a judgment. Zuri's younger sister Amina visits the flat in Vita that night. She cooks mahamri in a pan too small for ambition. The cardamom steam clouds the window where geckos hunt moths. Amina does not read contracts, but she reads faces. She has watched the cousin smile not reach his eyes. She tells Zuri what their mother would have said. This feels like water poured on dry sand. Zuri waves her off, stirring her chai too hard. She speaks of growth and vision and breaking ceilings. Amina says nothing more. She knows the look of a woman who has already jumped. 2 weeks bleed into 3. The Dubai number rings dead. Emails bounce back like curses. Zuri stands outside a locked office in Nyali, the nameplate ripped away, leaving only glue ghosts on frosted glass. The receptionist next door shrugs. He came in once. Tall man. Paid 3 months rent up front. Vanished overnight. The humidity presses against Zuri's chest like a hot towel. She walks to the bus stage in a daze, past muezzins and matatu touts and women selling peanuts in newspaper cones. Everything looks the same. Everything has changed. The ground beneath her feet has turned to water. Mzee Kassim materializes at her stall like a shadow at noon. He is the landlord of half of Biashara Street, the man who collects rent with the patience of a crocodile. His kanzu is pressed to knife-edge sharpness. He does not shout. He speaks low, each word measured in shillings. 3 months behind. 7 days to clear or face auction. Zai's throat closes. She speaks of the deal, the cousin, and the wire transfer that will surely come. Mzee Kassim listens with the expression of a man who has had every version of hope and watched them all die. He turns and leaves. Zai becomes a ghost in government buildings. She queues at the police station between a goat thief and a land disputant, her statement taken by an officer who yawns. She sits in bank lobbies where air conditioning raises goosebumps on her arms. She pays a lawyer in Nairobi 2,000 shillings just to hear him say recovery is unlikely. Days dissolve into each other. She chases the money across phone networks and dead addresses, pouring her energy into a sieve. Her stall sits shuttered. Her stock gathers dust. She is trying to gather smoke with her bare hands, and the smoke keeps rising. Desperation breeds its own kind of blindness. Zai finds a Shylock behind the bus station, a man with a gold tooth and a calculator soul. She signs for 20,000 shillings at 20% interest, her hands shaking so badly the pen leaves warm trails on the paper. She tells herself this is just to buy time, just to keep the stall alive until justice arrives. But justice is a slow boat, and debt is a fast current. She pays Mzee Kassim 1 month. The other 2 remain like teeth in a shark's mouth. She lies awake listening to the night fisherman's lamps drift across the harbor. Mzee Kassim returns with 2 young men and a padlock. It happens on a Tuesday when the rain tastes of rust. Zai pleads in Swahili, in English, in the broken language of pride reduced to begging. They remove her shelves anyway. They stack her kangas on the wet pavement. Neighbors watch from behind their own stalls. No one steps forward. The market has its own code. You survive or you sink. A tuk-tuk driver helps her load the fabric for 300 shillings she cannot spare. She rides away through Mombasa's narrow streets, the boxes pressing against her back like a barrier. The overnight bus to Lamu groans over potholes and dried riverbeds. Zai sits by the window, her reflection superimposed on the darkening baobab trees. She has not slept in 36 hours. Her phone buzzes with messages from Amina, from the Shylock, from Halima who now claims she too was deceived. Zai turns it off. The bus stops at Malindi, at Gasan, at villages whose names she has forgotten. By dawn, the air smells different. Salt and donkey dung and ancient wood. Lamu rises from the sea like a memory she did not know she was carrying. Babu Juma waits at the jetty, thin as a mast. In Babu Juma's Swahili house, the walls are thick as forgiveness. He makes tea on a kerosene stove at the sugar measured by memory. He tells her about 1974. His first dhow, the fathalite built with mango wood and young man's dreams. A monsoon caught it off Kiwayu Island. He tried to salvage the wreck for 3 months, diving daily, hauling beams, bargaining with fishermen for help. He spent everything. He grew thin. Then an old woman on the shore asked him what he was doing. Trying to save my boat, he said. She laughed. Maji Yakimwagika Hayazoleki, she said. Water spilled cannot be gathered again. Zai weeps. The tears come hot and ashamed, pulling in the lines of her palms. She has been gathering water with a broken basket, running after a boat that sank 20 years before she was born. Babu Juma places his hand on hers. His skin feels like sailcloth softened by salt. You are not the first to pour yourself into the ocean and expect it to return, he says. The wise man does not chase the wave that has passed. He watches for the next tide. Zai looks up. Through the carved window, she sees the dhows rocking at anchor. Some are old. Some are new. All of them float. Lamu sunrise spills gold across the channel. Zai walks the seawall where fishermen mend nets with needles thick as thumbs. She stops calling the lawyer. She deletes the Dubai number. She opens her grandmother's cedar chest and finds a book of kanga designs pressed between wax paper patterns from 1962 that no living vendor sells anymore. Swallow motifs. Crescent moons. Proverbs in old Swahili script. Her fingers traced the penciled margins where her grandmother wrote notes on indigo dye and tamarind paste fixatives. Something flickers in her chest. Not hope exactly. Something harder. Something that knows how to begin again from nothing. Back in Mombasa, there is no stall. Only a borrowed table outside Amina's restaurant in the old town alleyways. Zai lays out 12 kangas. The new designs are different. They speak of dhow sails and lamu doors and old proverbs woven into borders. They do not shout. They whisper. On the third day, a woman from Teta buys one for her daughter's kitchen tea. On the fifth day, a schoolteacher takes two. Zai counts the notes with hands that still remember how. She pays the Shylock his first installment. It is small. It is real. The fabric in her fingers feels like the first word of a new language. An Italian tourist with silver hair and linen trousers poses at the table. She lifts a kanga printed with the old proverb haba na haba hujaza kibaba. She asks what it means. Zai tells her. Little by little fills the measure. The woman's eyes widen. She runs a boutique in Rome specializing in ethical African textiles. She orders 50 pieces. Then 75. Zai writes the numbers in a notebook, her pen hovering as if the figures might evaporate. That night she and Amina cook polo with extra meat. They eat on the floor because there is no table. Zai laughs until tears blur the lamplight. Halima appears at the restaurant doorway one humid afternoon. She wears no gold bangles. Her eyes carry the same bruised knowledge Zai recognizes from mirrors. The cousin betrayed her too. Took her wedding jewelry, her mother's savings, her husband's trust. She sits across from Zai without speaking. Amina brings 2 glasses of tamarind juice. The ice cracks loud in the silence. Then Halima says it. I am sorry. 3 words, as simple as rope. Zai looks at the woman who once handed her temptation wrapped as opportunity. She sees only another person who spilled water and had to learn the same lesson. They drink. The old wound begins to scar. A year later, Zai stands in a small shop with a wooden sign that reads Lamu Legacy. A young vendor from Nakuru comes asking advice. She lost everything to a fake supplier in Nairobi. She wants to know how to get the money back. Zai listens. Then she takes the girl's hands and tells her the truth she almost drowned trying to avoid. Maji Yakimwagika Hayazoleki. Once water spills, you cannot gather it again. But you can always find new water. You can dig a new well. You can wait for rain. The girl's shoulders drop. Not in defeat. In the relief of finally letting go of a ghost that never had a face. We all spill water we cannot gather again. The deal that soured. The trust that broke. The chance that slipped through fingers into the past. The question is never how to undo the spill. It is how to find the courage to look for new water. If this story speaks to you, share it with someone learning to let go. Type Maji in the comments if you understand that some losses are not endings. They are simply the tide going out before the next wave rises. Because once water spills, you cannot gather it again. But the ocean, my friend, is still full.